It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Hey guys, it's the kid from NBN. I want to talk about what happened a couple of weeks ago with regards to the behind the scenes of James Gunn's Superman. So there's a lot of interesting elements that came out that we could, I guess, theorize what's going to happen. And first and foremost, I'll get to the timeline now, and I'll get to the timeline in a bit. But before, I want to talk about the behind the scenes. So I think the most important thing of the behind the scenes is a lot of cool elements. This is the clip that I think that either if you missed it, you missed it. But if not, you know or you take. There's theories here. First is Parasite, and Parasite is a DC villain, and he's been there's different variations of Parasite. He's a formidable DC villain. The popular theory is that it's the White Martian, and the White Martians in the comic books are uh, the they're the ones who caused the Martian Manhunter family's death. They're the ones who caused the Civil War. The reason why the Martian Manhunter is the last green Martian. They're the quote unquote the evil Martians. While it's cool and to theorize whether it's going to be Martian or Parasite, I think it's even more than that. I think both of them have the ability to shapeshift, and I think that's where it becomes cool because it ties to what we believe with Ultraman, right? Ultraman, it's either the clone of Superman or it's the White Martian or Parasite based on this. Again, this is all theories. We don't know what's going on. We don't know exactly who that is. But the fact that you see Lex and you see the army and you see this white figure here that could be either Parasite or the White Martian, and the fact that James Gunn allowed that to be seen tells me two things. One, it might not be the main villain, and two, I think if they don't go the clone route, which I don't want it to be Ultraman being a clone, Bizarro and all that stuff, I think that's a way better element of the story that we haven't seen before. That another element that we've seen as well and behind the scenes is you saw Metamorpho, you saw Hot Girl, what we believe is throwing out from the building the stag, her boss, uh, who's paying her, we presume, because that's the uniforms they have. And then here, right, the Hammer of Baravia. So Baravia is a fictional country that is old school. It came out in the second Superman ever comic book in 1939. It's a fictional country. There's conflict going on here between Baravia and a neighboring country. And so the Hammer of Baravia, which we saw here, the picture, we also saw on the newspaper clip that they're reading in the teaser trailer. They came out in December, and essentially the Hammer of Baravia is a representative of that country, but the government has nothing to do with them. It's kind of like an individual. We don't know who that is, and essentially they're going into Metropolis in retribution to what Superman did. If you read the newspaper article, that he intervened with the conflict on the other side of the world, so he is coming to create chaos in the country. Excuse me, in Metropolis. So the White Martian, the Hammer of Baravia, and then we still don't know a lot of things. So I kind of have my predictions of the timeline. This is subject to change. Obviously, we don't know what we assume that the last trailer's coming out. It's almost at the beginning of May, so we don't know when exactly. But there's a lot of theories going on where it's following the Barbie campaign, and if it is, it means there's one more trailer. And I think you do need one more trailer, but I think you have to be careful what you show in the trailer. So based on the behind the scenes, if you combine the behind the scenes, the teaser trailer, the crypto first clip, the behind the scenes in general, if you were on the internet and you're seeing all that stuff, and then the look up, the 30-second clip, I guess, the one that was shown before in the teaser, I came up with a timeline that I believe, this is my theory, again, subject to change. So the first thing is we know that based on the teaser trailer, the kaiju fight and all that stuff. Everything's shown there. Gunn said that's the first act of the film. So I think that based on the newspaper, I think that Cal already he already interfered with the countries. That's my theory. And then the kaiju fight happens. This is Gunn saying, 25%. So we know that he's going to get burned um, physically, and we know that the crowd has a little bit of tension against him because of what happened with Bravia and now in the kaiju fight. Then I think the Hammer of Bravia happens after the kaiju fight. I think that's the reason why you see him there. Or that could be, again, Lex Luthor or somebody else in the future. But I think that's what happened. So I think, again, he was in the conflict. The kaiju fight happened. The Hammer of Bravia shows up. It could be that newspaper that we talked about earlier. I think Lex then goes and trespasses the Fortress of Solitude, destroys the robots you saw in the trailer. In the trailer, the one that was played in the theaters, not the one that was that everybody saw in publicly. I think he comes with the Engineer and Ultraman. We think is Ultraman. Then I think Superman fights them 2 against 1. We know that they're going to fight in the baseball scene in the Metropolis baseball home stadium. We've seen it. It's behind the scenes. So we know it's going to be a 2 against 1 element. I think that's where Cal is physically injured in the beginning of the teaser trailer in 2000. And this one in December of last year. I don't think he's going to get injured based on the kaiju, and I don't think he's going to get injured based on the Hammer of Bravia. I think it's going to be that it's 2 against 1, and he can only do so much. I think also when he gets healed, which we saw the clip, which again, that's the only part that's confusing to me. Right, when does the robots get destroyed? That's the part the only thing I have to go back on. So I think he gets arrested because I think the public cries too much. Everybody's against him, the kaiju, because we know that with the Hammer of Bravia based on the newspaper, people get injured and there's millions of dollar losses from Metropolis. So I think with Lex Luthor doing a campaign against him, I think he voluntarily gets arrested or not voluntarily. We'll see what happens. But I think he gets arrested. He gets in the containment. Luthor has, it looks like presumably a kryptonite bullet. He's next to Metamorpho. You can see the light coming in, so it's probably the sun. Metamorpho probably helps him. He escapes. And I think that's when you see the green orb, which a lot of people are saying that's Solaris, which is an evil sun. It was created in the late 1990s. It was created by Grant Morrison, who did All-Star Superman. I think that's when that happened, and you see the Green Lantern fighting him as well. And I think the green orb, which it could be Brainiac, we don't know, or Solaris. I think that and Luthor's is the climax of the film. So I think Luthor's going to throw, or maybe he is the Hammer of Bravia, we don't know. He's going to throw the kaiju. He's going to throw the Hammer of Bravia. He's going to throw the Engineer / Ultraman, or we don't know who that is. He's going to throw the White Martian / Parasite. Might be Brainiac as well. He's going to throw 4 or 5 different people as Superman. And I think at the end, and we don't know whether he's going to be in the suit as well, whether he's the Hammer of Bravia or the Lex Corp suit that he has, the power suit. And I think that's the end of the film. Obviously, a lot of stuff happens in between, right? Like the Daily Planet gets saved by Mr. Terrific during one of the battles, which I think, by the way, when they all look up in the teaser trailer, I think they're looking up for the kaiju. So I think when he says look up for Superman, I think it's just misguided. But anyways, I think that's the timeline. It's subject to change. Once the additional trailer comes in, I'm going to come back and edit this. But I think that's my theory based on everything that happens. And eventually, he beats the ball and he beats Luthor, and then everything. They figure out that his way is the way to do it. And then everybody just loves him. But he's going to go through hell, not only in the court of public opinion, but also physically. So yeah, something to change. The behind the scenes were cool. The cape was awesome. David looks more and more like my favorite Superman. We'll see how it is with Lex Luthor and everybody else, but it's getting there, right? We're under 90 days from away from this movie, and it's getting exciting. So make sure, guys, if you like the video, like, subscribe, and keep tuning in. From James Gunn, we trust.